Hello, everybody. I have a huge update on the story of Jeannie Beeman, who is the elderly Target lady who was attacked, assaulted by that radical woke leftist, Michaela Ponce, in Target when she tried to record it. This story just keeps on getting more and more bizarre and growing in interest, growing in scale, expanding. And just becoming more and more of, I think, something that's symbolic of kind of where we are as a culture here in the United States of America. I found out so much new information. Jeannie, the elderly woman from Target, obviously, if you missed my last video, was just doing her job at Target. She's worked there for over 20 years, and she was wearing a Charlie Kirk Freedom shirt, which was red, which followed all of Target's policies and guidelines as far as appropriate workplace attire. And she was assaulted, essentially, verbally assaulted. Like, it was awful. I can't even share the video. I shared it in a couple other videos with all the bleeps and stuff. If you want to go see that, go check it out. But essentially, Michaela Ponce, who's 32 years old, I've now discovered, she's married to a Jose Ponce, and I found out a lot of information about them. Essentially, it backfired completely. She thought she was going to record Jeannie and make fun of her, chastise her, make an example of her, and the exact opposite happened. Jeannie held herself in perfect class, grace, and character and dignity, and the internet has responded, and I'm included in that because I'm an independent media guy, so I've responded as well. You've responded, which is fantastic, and I've just got a lot to share about this. This Michaela Ponce has quite the criminal background. You're not going to believe what I'm going to share with you. Her mother is now entering the mix, as well as rumors that Michaela Ponce, remember in my last video, we couldn't confirm or deny if Enloe Health, the place where she works as a nurse practitioner, believe it or not, was going to get terminated. I've got some evidence that I got to share with you. I've been doing a lot of digging, a lot of investigating. But first, so stick around for that. You're going to love that. But first, I want to share this with you. Jeannie Beeman, who, there was a give and send go. I donated. I know a lot of you guys donate. You don't have to donate, obviously, if you want to. The link, I'll leave another link to it in the pinned comment to her give and send go, which is essentially like a GoFundMe. It's raised over $250,000, which is awesome. She gave an interview recently, and she also talked about what she's going to do with the money. Check this out. So there's sweet Jeannie right there, who gave an interview to a local news station. And here's just a couple of excerpts of that video, where Ponce can be heard saying, "It's a Charlie Kirk shirt." And Jeannie says, "Yeah, I know." And she says, "Are you effing stupid?" That's just a small taste. I mean, it's filled with acid. I wouldn't want anybody to go through what Jeannie went through. And Jeannie then responds and says in her interview what was going through her mind. She says, "I was shocked. I just stood there looking at her at first, thinking of how to handle this situation. She just kept on. And I was like, that's your opinion. And this is my opinion." I think that that's such an interesting point. I just want to comment on what Jeannie just said right there. There used to be a time in this country. Let me know if you remember this. I know a lot of you guys are around my age and remember this, the era before it seemingly seems like everybody gets offended by everybody and everybody tries to cancel one another. There was a time when you could disagree. There was a time where you could still be civil while vehemently disagreeing, sometimes even maybe violently disagreeing with somebody, as I do with a lot of my family members. But I love them to death. I don't hold it against them. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I'm not going to turn into one of these people and disown them like Jimmy Kimmel's family, etc. But boy, she needs an award or something. I hope she meets President Trump or something. If anybody can put me in contact with Jeannie, I haven't exactly reached out to her. I've been kind of busy myself with the holidays, but if anybody can put me in contact with her, let me know. I'd love to have her come on the show. She continues. Beeman says she thought Ponce was taking a photo, not a video. Yet when Orland police came to her front door the next day to check on her, she knew something had happened. Orland is about 30 minutes outside of Chico, California, Northern California, north of San Francisco, the Bay Area. While knowing of the social media app TikTok, she was not on the app and had no idea her interaction with Ponce had gone viral. Less than 24 hours and millions of views later, including our videos, Jeannie Beeman's kind approach to the situation was celebrated by millions across the country. A Give, Send, Go fundraiser dedicated to her is now surpassed, wow, over 250,000 people. Listen to Jeannie's response. This is so heartfelt. I'm amazed that people are like that, Beeman sees. I think we need a good human story where people aren't attacking and we can be nice. Two wrongs don't make a right, she said. Me wanting her to lose her job or go to jail or anything, that's not right in my point of view. I disagree with her vehemently. I want Ponce to get everything she deserves. If you're with me on that, I don't have the strength. I don't have this level of character and decency that Jeannie does. I am not like that. I think she deserves all the punishment and all the consequences that she rightly deserves. But Jeannie is on a whole new level. She's like a saint, like my wife. In a written statement, so here's Debbie Smiley. Check this out. She is Michaela Ponce's mother. That's the woman who accosted Jeannie, the young 32-year-old. And boy, I got some stuff to share with you. Wow. She sent a written statement on behalf of her family saying, Jeannie, I am deeply sorry that you were treated in such a horrific way. No one should ever be treated in such a way. The way you conducted yourself should be an inspiration to many. Unfortunately, my daughter did not conduct herself in any type of an appropriate way. It was downright atrocious, actually, Debbie. She continues, I am mortified by her behavior. Myself and my family do not agree with nor approve of Michaela's expressed beliefs or behavior. So this is interesting right here. I'll come to that in a second. As a mother, it breaks my heart. So remember that sentence right there. The mother says, myself and my family do not agree with nor approve of Michaela's expressed beliefs or behaviors. Everybody highlight that. I'm going to come back to it after you see all the stuff that I've discovered. And this all relates to what I think the indoctrination of the school system in the United States of America, the DEI woke ideologies that have cancerified our society. As a mother, but I'll come back to that. As a mother, it breaks my heart to see my child treat another person with such disdain. I do not condone Michaela's actions. So that's from the mother. Jeannie Beeman says she plans, this is what she says she plans to use the money for. The money that has been donated to her, she plans to pay some bills and hopefully retire. Well, Jeannie, on behalf of Nez Nation and myself, we all wish you the best. I think you should be a teacher. You already are a teacher. I mean, you taught the world how to handle evil and how to handle people who have absolutely zero self-control. And I hope that you get everything that you deserve. Bless you, and may God bless and keep you always, Jeannie. Okay, so remember, Enloe Health put out this statement, right? Saying, blah, 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 we think it's awful. Please stop calling our main switchboard because it gets in the way of our patients and helping our patients. Everybody screenshot this because if you haven't already, I want you to continue to go after Enloe. They say if you wish to share a comment with Enloe related to this employee's social media post, please email us at share@enloe.org or call 530-332-9818 and leave a message. So that's really, really important because we don't want to get in the way of real innocent patients getting care. Make sure you screenshot that. If you haven't emailed or called, please do so immediately. And then Michaela apologized, which everybody kind of took, as myself included, was completely fake. Here's where things get interesting, okay? So I shared this in the last video, but I just want to share it again because this is a pattern. This is a destructive behavior. So Jose Ponce is Michaela's husband, Debbie Smiley's daughter, who Debbie, again, remember, said we do not share any of her expressed beliefs. This is Jose. He's 12 years older. He's 44, 45. Here he is teaching his daughter hate and evil by posing, and then Michaela put it on social media. This was a Facebook post, posing in front of a vehicle outside of Costco or God knows where, a vehicle that has Charlie Kirk stickers and Trump stickers. And he's mocking Charlie Kirk's assassination by holding his hand to his neck in the mock form of a firearm, while his daughter affectionately flips the bird at everyone. And then Michaela's caption says, "OMG, did you see what she posted, thinking she was cute and funny, as if this is something that is endearing," which is, it's completely abhorrent. So check this out. Michaela Lee Castro, aka Ponce, actually has a pretty insane rap sheet. I am noticing a scary pattern here, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But you can see here, she has been caught with felony after misdemeanor, threatening, kidnapping, abusing, endangering the health of a child, assault with a deadly weapon, battery against a spouse, vandalism. The list goes on and on and on. She also hates America. So I'm assuming by the way she looks and her family that, you know, this is a white Caucasian woman, okay, Michaela Ponce, who married, who I think is probably an illegal alien. I can't confirm or deny that, but it seems like this radicalization of thought and ideology and values and principles has really just consumed this woman, because not only does she have an extensive rap sheet, there's also been problems at home with her husband, this 12-year-older, 45, 44-year-old Jose Ponce. She also hates the American flag. She posted this on December 8th, warning, yes, another flag post. And here she is complaining. Since when did Orland magically start lining 4th Street with flags? I must have missed the memo. I'd actually love to chat with the volunteer pictured, because, I'm not showing the person who was volunteered. I'm just taking the caption. And since when did Orland Flag Society suddenly switch to pole sleeve flags? This is like a pattern here. So she says, warning, another flag post. So this isn't the first time. What she's essentially doing here, she's complaining to someone that I can only assume works for the city of Orland, or somebody who is posting another post about showing American flags and then maybe in the downtown area of Orland, what have you. But she says another flag post. So she's been complaining about American flags for God knows how long. Why does she hate America so much? How did this happen? You're going to find out. It gets worse. So this is Michaela Ponce. This is a post that she posted, I'm assuming to her, either her TikTok or her Instagram, where she says, red, white, and made you look. So she's wearing a hat that from a distance, one might make the mistake of thinking it's a Make America Great hat. But no, that's not what it is. It's a hat that says make racism wrong again. Another completely misguided, woke, leftist, ridiculous pattern of parasitic ideas aimed at the Trump administration, trying to save our country, heal our country, and actually make crime again by putting illegal criminals and aliens that the Biden-Kamala regime let invade our country so they can keep winning elections, because they're scared to death and they can't win elections from actual American citizens. So somebody posted this online, posted that very picture that I just talked about next to the Enloe Medical Center that you see on your screen right there. And then underneath it, this is what's causing all the hullabaloo online, and everybody's saying she got fired. A man by the name of Matt Dutton, who is a very, he's not just like this troll account. He's a verified account, says, I live in Chico, California. My wife works at the hospital. Michaela Ponce was fired today. Her husband, Jose, and her have a large Mexican flag in front of their house. She's a proud activist. Aha! So she hates America. She complains about flags. She does post after post after post, combating and attacking and assaulting anybody who shows pride in America, apparently, including the city of Orland, which is 30 minutes outside of Chico. She attacks elderly women at Target. Are we sensing a pattern? She has a rap sheet that's longer than my wife's Amazon purchases. And then there's this. Okay, so here are two incidents that I found that were filed with the Orland police that include Michaela and her husband, Jose Ponce. So the first one was a civil problem. It happened in July of this year, 2025. You can see on your screen, it looks like OPD responded to the report of possible threats. Officers contacted Michaela Ponce, 32, of Orland, who stated Melissa Montez threatened to punch her. The incident was documented at Ponce's request. Now, her daughter's name is Melissa. That could be, I can't confirm or deny this, but it seems likely that could be the girl who was flipping the bird at the camera while her father was making fun of Charlie Kirk. That could be her. And then the second one I found happened back in January of last year. And this was a civil spat, a civil dispute, which included battery, apparently. So it says here, OPD responded to the report of domestic disturbance. Officers contacted Michaela Ponce and Jose Ponce. You can see, it's a 14-year difference at that time. So this was back in 2024. So he's 45 and she's 32, I guess now, or maybe he's 46. Following an investigation, Ponce agreed to leave for the night and a report was taken. So two police reports back to back within a year or in some change. Okay, so two things. Number one, the mother, remember what I said about the mother, saying we do not share any of her expressed beliefs. We don't share any of her behavior, right? Expressed beliefs is really important. I have a feeling that this young woman, Michaela Ponce, probably was raised in a very loving family, okay? And somehow she was radicalized, probably indoctrinated through the school system. And who knows, maybe even perhaps through, the surrounding areas where you have multiculturalism, diversity is our strength, God knows what else. And for some reason, there is this absolute self-loathing that has happened in her. There is a putrid hate for America, for white people, it seems like. Anybody who is not, of a different persuasion, because the large Mexican flag, her husband, who looks like a felon to me, probably an illegal, and there's no reason to have this kind of hate for innocent people when just based on the color of their skin. It seems really, really obvious. Her constant posts against people who enjoy their country, who want to post the American flag. It all adds up to something. I'm sure the school system didn't help in woke California, Northern California especially, but also the people who attended those schools. God knows what the ratios were. God knows what kind of gangs, God knows what kinds of bad influences were there. Because if they produce this poison that resides in that young woman's head, who's probably excommunicated from her family, probably doesn't even talk to her family anymore. I would even go far. Again, these are all assumptions, but based on I've been around the block, based on a lot of the things that I've researched and I've experienced and I've actually come in contact with, it seems very, very likely this is a pattern, y'all. What we saw in Brown University, what we saw in earlier this year at various, churches, Jewish churches, etc., in places of congregation and what have you. What we see in universities, as somebody who's taught at the public university and private university years ago, I can tell you this is the kind of mentality that they promote, that they nurture, and that they groom. I can 1,000,000,000% vouch for that. That's number one. Number two, I cannot confirm that Michaela Ponce has been fired. Now, from what I've understood, these kind of things in these kinds of companies and in the healthcare industry, they happen in private. I've tried to reach out to Matt Dutton. I've researched Matt Dutton. He seems like a legit individual. He has his own business. I think he's in the financial services business. I can't be 100% on that. But I have seen the post. The post is real. And with all intents and purposes, I believe him. If she is terminated, hallelujah. She got what she deserves. And look, I don't wish ill will on anybody. But I hope to God, Michaela, if you or your rock gut husband is watching this, I just want to say, man, this is America. We can have disagreements. We can have different beliefs. We can have different ideas. The way you acted was abhorrent. And the fact that you're taking that demeanor, energy, and attitude into a place where people need, life and death saving healthcare is even more eerie, scary, and abominable. And so I don't wish ill will on anybody. I hope to God that you, Michaela, will spend some time in introspection, that you will spend some quiet time reflecting on this. And I hope to God you have an epiphany, some kind of realization. If I believe your apology, I'm thinking that you've kind of already taken a step towards that. I don't really believe your apology. I think your apology, based on everything I've seen about you, is complete BS. But all human behaviors are driven by incentives. And so if people like this realize that they could lose their, she's been doxxed too. Her address is out there. The internet doesn't mess around. I love you guys, especially when it happens to the right person. And so if people see that their livelihood is going to be affected, that there's actual consequences, we're hoping to God that it happens to some of these elected officials who've done egregious things. We're still waiting on this from the DOJ and Pam and everybody. This is going to send a loud message. This is why this is really, really good news to everybody out there who thinks they're above the law. Nobody is above the law. And I hope you learn from this. I hope you adapt and change your behavior for your kids, for crying out loud. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. If I get any more updates, and if you have anything, let me know in the comments down below. If you work in healthcare and maybe you can illuminate a little bit more about this, we have an intelligent, smart audience that watches our show. Let me know in the comments down below. I can't wait to hear from you. As always, tap that thumbs up if you love America. It helps us. This is going to get our mission out there to make common sense go viral. So please tap that thumbs up. Don't forget to check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It doesn't cost you a thing. It's free. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.